Do it.
Do it. All right. I guess that's it.
Like, oh, is it recording?
Yeah,
I can't.
where we're going. Sorry.
Okay, so this is gonna come directly from Melanie Mitro, who is the top coach in the network, like multiple years in a row. So this is something that she taught us when Emmy, Christy, and I went to the New Leader conference in February. And it is something that I've been using since then, and it's been wildly helpful. So I wanted to share it. But we're going to talk about planning. And basically, what Melanie said was like, stop winging this business. And that's how she started. She was like, stop winging it, because if you're not heading towards a goal, or like if you don't have some sort of strategic plan, then everyone's going to be confused about what you're trying to accomplish. So I will really briefly touch on this, and I'm not going to like spend a lot of time on it because I do want to talk mainly about anchor posts, but I will start by saying like, you should be planning out your month. And if you're not planning out your month, you need to start planning out your month. And we do have like a team calendar and like team events that happen every month, but like you need to have your challenge group scheduled and planned before you create anchor posts, because the anchor post schedule will be dependent on the schedule of either your challenge group, or if you're inviting people to a coaching event or like a sneak peek or anything like that. So step one, plan out your month. Like I use like a dry erase calendar, and at the beginning of every month I sit there and I decide when my challenge groups are going to start and when like any coach sneak peeks or anything like that are going to be. And then from there, you're able to create what are called anchor posts. So essentially what this is it's 7 or 8 posts that you use leading up to whatever event you are inviting people to. So if you have a challenge group coming up, basically it would be, you would work backwards from the day of your challenge group starting, or your last day of enrollment, I should say, that like you're letting people jump into your challenge group. And then you would strategically plan 8 posts for 8 different days leading up to that, which is why you need to have an actual schedule that you're following so that you can know when you're supposed to be posting. So Carolyn, if you want to just share like the blank one, just so everyone can see. Thank you. Cool. Okay, so this is like, looks almost exactly like Melanie's did. I just made it on Canva. I recommend that you make it on Canva, because then you can keep going in and refilling it in, and you can use a similar one for your challenge group month to month, or your coaching, like recruiting events month to month. But essentially what this includes is you'll have whatever it is you're inviting to up in the top in that white box, and then all those little boxes underneath are going to have just a post topic leading up to it. So I don't know if you guys saw all the information in the thread, the Lift 4 thread, but I did put an example of anchor posts leading up to today, or well, I guess it was like last week, but leading up to the Lift 4 launch. You can go up, Carolyn. We can just change the text and then the other one. I don't mind. You can just, yeah, we'll just do this one. Go to the third one. The third page. Yeah, sorry, this is difficult. Okay, so this was, we can just change this. So I'm gonna do it in live, like real time right now, for my next group that's starting. So let me pull up my calendar really quick so I can. So up where it says challenge group, Caroline, can you write 3-week boot camp? I'm going to show you guys how easy this is. Okay, and then write June 18th, please. Can you put in where it has the parentheses, can you put June 18th? Thank you. Okay, cool. And then where it says June 6th, can you write the 11th? Because that'll start. It's literally starting tonight. Thank you for being my hands.
I think it's a little laggy, so I'm doing them immediately when you tell me to, so you don't have to wait for it to show up. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I was like, wait.
Probably my, yeah. Okay. Who hopped on late? My laptop's not working, so Carolyn has to be my hands right now because I'm on my iPad and can't do anything. Okay, so I have a 3-week boot camp starting next week. Next week is like technically my prep week for the boot camp, so I usually allow people to get into it by like, or up until like Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, thank you, Christy. So I'm going to basically create a post schedule for myself of topics starting from tonight leading up to next week. So for the very first box, let's put, you can just write summer is coming / goals. And then for the second box, you can put recipe share. And then for the third box, you can put, I think it says story share already, right? Leave story share and then also put invite or call to action. Sorry, it's so laggy on mine. Okay, cool. All right. And then for the fourth box, you can write money objection. And then the fifth box, Shakeology post, or just Shakeology. And then for the next one, you can put time objection and invite. Cool. Sorry, let me look. Oh, it's working now. Okay, cool. And for the next one, you can put sweaty selfie / workout video. And then the last one, you can put last call invite, and that'll be on the 18th. Cool, thank you. Okay, so super simple. That took like 5 minutes, and it takes less time when your internet is working and you're using your own hands. So that's literally it. And then every day leading up to my cutoff for my challenge group, I'm going to post one of these topics. And what this does is it funnels people into your group. You're actually giving them information that they need to understand what it is you are inviting them to. So this can't take place of actually talking to people. You still need to be talking to people. You still need to be messaging people. But it gives them clarity when you message them and they then go to your page and they can look and they see right away you're battling objections specifically about your upcoming group or about their fitness goal, or if you're doing this for like a coaching invite, it can be coaching objections or whatever. You're showing that you're actually doing it. You're flat out inviting to it. So it makes it very clear that this is what you're doing, and it gives them more information, and it shows them like, oh, I really can do this. So if you think that you're messaging people and they're not like going to your page immediately and stalking the crap out of you, like they absolutely are. So this actually gives them some sort of like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like base foundation. That's the word. foundation as to like what you are actually talking about, because like people don't know when we say challenge group, they don't know what that means. When we say like challenge pack, they don't know what that means. So this is where you're like able to provide them information that specifically correlates with what you are inviting them to. It's super, super simple, and it makes it really easy as you're going through the week and your week is getting like busier and it's getting hectic, and you're like by Thursday, you're like, if you're me, you're brain dead by Thursday and you can't think of what you need to post or what you want to post. Literally, it makes it so easy because you've created a map that very specifically leads people to your group. What I've been doing is I then, after I make this, I save it and I put it as my background on my laptop, so that every time I open my computer, the first thing I see is what my post topic is for that day. So all day I can be thinking about like, or I can see like if I'm supposed to post a video that day, like I know I need to record a video while I'm doing my workout that day, right? So I can tell you that since doing this, my life has been like more hectic than ever probably, and I have had more people actually reaching out to me and coming to me, people who I haven't spoken to at all or who I invited a long time ago, who have come to me and said, I'm ready to sign up. Like old connections, on top of the new people who have had so much more clarity and had like better questions, and we've had better conversations because they have some sort of understanding of what it is I'm actually talking about, and they're not just blowing me off when I invite them. If that makes sense. Yeah. Cool. So I recommend doing this on Canva, because then you can go in like just like we just did, and you can have like, I have one saved for coaching sneak peek and I have one saved for a general challenge group. And then I just go and I tweak it slightly towards like my group's theme, or towards like, if, you know, like how Lift 4 was coming out, like I was able to then just tweak it. It took 2 seconds while we were on a call talking about how to strategically plan for like Lift 4 to actually tweak it and make it geared towards a lifting program. So it's super simple to use, and it actually gives you like a plan that is leading to something. So you're able to funnel people into your challenge group or into your coaching sneak peek or whatever it is, rather than just like randomly posting like whatever you feel like posting that day. Like, and not that it's bad to be like sharing, like you want to share about your life and things, but if your like social media feed is like you're talking about coaching one day without an invite, and then you're talking about a challenge group the next day without an invite, and then you're like posting a picture of your food without any words, and then you're like posting a sweaty picture, and like people are going to be confused as to what you're actually talking about when you're talking to them, or what you're actually inviting to. So they're not even going to really realize that you have anything coming up. And people don't see all of our posts. So if you feel like you're being repetitive by like inviting multiple times in the same week to the same challenge group, you're not, because most likely the same people haven't seen both of those posts. So this is a really good way to get a larger audience and like more eyes on what you are actually doing. And you want to be like really clear about, like in your invites, you want to clearly state like that you are inviting people, like that, you know, you're starting this group and you're opening it up to people. Otherwise, like they're just totally confused and they're like, what is a challenge group? I don't understand. Because there's, you know, we're all over social media now. We know there's like a million things that are like cleanse challenge and this and that, like on Instagram, and like it gets muddled in those, amongst all of that stuff, because we see so much of it every day. So this makes it really, really clear and concise for people. Cool. You can stop sharing. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
So when you do this, and I'm asking this for myself and also for new coaches who are maybe on their first call, or people who haven't done this ever, do you suggest doing this, like planning this out a week at a time? Like, is that how you do it? You sit down every week and you plan it out week by week, or do you sit down in the beginning of the month and kind of do it for the whole month? Because I did it for the whole month, but I don't know, because we have schedules. So what do you do?
It really depends. I I sit down and plan my month first. So I will sit down and I will decide what dates everything is going to start on. I've been running 2 challenge groups a month. I do usually put both of my challenge group anchor posts together in one sitting because it's just easy to have that on my brain. And they're spread out throughout the month, but it's easy to that really quickly, like they're going to be similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a coaching one, generic coaching one saved that I just tweak. So I guess the answer is that I do sit down and do it all at once. I don't know if I did that the first time, but now I do because it's all kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say do it all at once, but then just make sure that like, if you have to overlap any of them, that that you have to be posting. Like if you're running a challenge group that's coming up and also like a coach sneak peek that's coming up, make sure that like if there's any days that you need to have 2 different posts. I try to spread mine out so that I don't have to think about that because my schedule is really crazy right now and I know I can't juggle it at this moment, but if you can, then just make sure that you have that in your mind.
Yeah. So if you have your whole month planned out and you know when everything's going on, you can sit down and say, okay, this day I'm going to post about this. This day I'm going to post about this. Do it for the whole month. But as far as like writing out the post, you don't have to write them all out when you're planning it out. You write them like as you go, week by week. Okay. Yeah. That was what I thought. But I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Try that.
Yeah, and because it's like, I mean, and you absolutely can sit and do it all at once. Like I haven't had the brain power all in one stint for a couple months to do that. But like if you have like a whole day off and free and you want to sit for like an hour and write out all of this, like absolutely do it. That's way easier. Like if I had the mental capacity at this point in time to do that, I would definitely do that instead. But with this, like it's super easy because it gives you like a guide as well, and you can be kind of thinking about it if you sit at the beginning of your week and like what's coming up as your week is going. You can kind of already have it going through your brain, so like if you're like gonna post a recipe, like maybe you're posting a recipe on Wednesday, but like you make some food that looks really good on Sunday, like you're gonna take a picture of it and you're gonna keep it so when Wednesday comes, you're not like, oh crap, now I have to cook something that looks good. Like, so you can be kind of planning as you go, but you don't necessarily have to like write everything out as you go.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. And do you have any kind of rhyme or reason of what kinds of things you're making sure that you have included in those 8 posts or?
Yeah, I like vary it a little bit, but I usually try to have 2 objection posts in there. 2 different objection posts. Money and time are normally the ones, but if it's like a weird month where I'm like hearing a lot of something else, like, every so often people are like around holidays, people are like the holidays, like that would, I would focus on that. Like that really depends on what time of year it is. And that was something else that Melanie talked about in a different presentation she gave, but you can like look at the entire year or the month you're dealing with and look at exactly like what obstacles you might be coming up to. Like, if once we hit like September, you're going to hear a ton of like, well, school's starting back up and things are crazy with my schedule. Like, so you'll know in advance, like, okay, I can do this. Or, even like next month, like the 4th of July and people want to like barbecue and drink and whatever. So like you can have that in your mind so that that's like the objection you're combating before people even have an opportunity to say it to you. So I do try to do that. And I always try to make sure there's a story share in there. Something that's like a little bit more emotionally driven, that like very much applies to, the people that you're trying to attract, your target market. And then I make sure that there's at least 2 like very clear call to action invites. I usually attach the invites to different things, so that it doesn't always sound the same, but I try to make sure there's at least 2. And then everything else I just fill in with what I'm feeling. Or like, if my challenge group is themed specifically, like I will make it about whatever the theme is.
That makes sense. I think that was a simple breakdown.
Yeah.
And this is something that's super duplicatable, like with you and your coaches. Like this is something that you can pass down, whether you have one coach or you have two coaches, you have a team. You know, this is something that once you get the hang of it, or even as you're learning it, you can share it with your team, and it's something that's easy to replicate.
Right. And the thing is like you can sit down with your team and you can all create, like if you're running a challenge group with someone or with your team or whatever, you can sit with your team and create one together. And then even if you have the same anchor post, like topics, it's all going to sound different. Like it's not going to sound like you're all posting the exact same thing because you're all coming from a different perspective. So you can all come like on the same day with a money objection and it'll sound completely different from each of you. So you absolutely can sit and, you know, like I said before, it takes 5 minutes to do this, but you can take even less time and split it up with other people. It's so simple though. And I know for me, it's been extremely helpful. And like I said, I've seen a really big shift in the amount of people who are out of the blue contacting me from this, or people who I haven't heard from. Maybe I was ghosted, you know, for like one person, like literally over a year, messaged me and was like, I'm signing up today since I started using this, and I haven't heard from her in a year. So it is like people are watching, and if you're like strategic about it, you can funnel them into what you want to funnel them into.
Yeah, it does a lot of the work for you.
I have a comment, not really a question, but I was just going to say I did that last month for the 2B Mindset launch, and it 100% worked. And I think you know this is working when you have people message you out of the blue, like Lauren said, and be like, wait, so what's this group that's starting on? And they always know the date because I say the date so many times. And it felt incredibly focused, like almost to the point of being annoying when I was doing it last month because I was just drilling in the whole nutrition thing so hard for that whole week. But I had the highest Success Club month I've had in probably a year, I think. So I know it worked. And I had most of those people came to me, which never happens. And I know it was 100% because of this. So I can just say it absolutely does work. And you're probably going to feel like, oh my God, I'm posting about this so much. But you're not, because those people are not all seeing all of your posts. And I felt sick of talking about it, but I still had new people being like, wait, what is this group? And I'm like, I've been talking about it all week. Just because of the way Facebook works. So definitely worked.
So true. I actually broke my PR last month and I was doing exactly what you were telling us to do. So it does work. What works?
Does anyone else have any questions? What, Carolyn?
When things work, you keep doing them. So I scheduled everything for this month too.
Exactly. And especially when it's like, you know, it doesn't need to be complicated. If it's simple and it works, use it. So easy. Cool. No one else has any questions, comments, concerns? Are you guys going to use this? Are you going to do this?
I think Valeria's trying to ask a question. I see her hand up and now she's gone. And now she's
Sorry.
Okay.
No, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted on my phone and muted on here. Sorry, my bad. I was late to the call, so y'all might have answered this already, but do you like start out at the beginning of a month or like 1 week out, or like how do you time when you're starting to like market for something in particular?
Right. So at the beginning of the month, I sit down and I decide when my challenge groups are starting, when I'm doing like coach sneak peek, anything like that, any of my big like events, I write them out on a monthly calendar. And then from there, with each of those events, I backtrack like 8 days leading up to it. And that's what the post schedule goes to. So it's starting like just over a week, and then it leads all the way up to whatever your deadline is. So don't, like, if your challenge group is starting on like a Monday, but it's like actually this group is starting Monday, so people need to be in it by like the week before, make sure it leads up to the like the cutoff rather than the actual group week, you know, date.
Okay.
But yeah, so 8 days from the actual start date or the actual cutoff of getting into whatever it is that you're trying to funnel people into.
Okay. And then you mentioned like when your stuff overlaps, do you ever have, for example, like if you're doing a coaching sneak peek and like a new challenge group, are you going to like post about both of those things at the same time, or do you make sure that you like time it in a way that
two
it's not
separate
at
posts
the same time?
Okay. Yeah. Do them separately. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Thank
Carolyn, I know you just did that, right? Like very, very recently.
Yeah.
Right? Did that work for you?
Yeah. Had a lot of new coaches sign up in the past couple of weeks, so it's definitely working, and challenge groups are getting filled up. But something that I wanted to add that might be helpful for you guys who are maybe like type A people like me, once you have your stuff planned out, if you're going to do it for the whole month, I don't know if you use Google Calendar, but you can put it into your Google Calendar. That's what I did, and it's super helpful because every day it'll pop up like, this is what it is, this is what it is, if you set it to pop up. And you can look at you'll be able to see like when your events are on the calendar, so it's easy to kind of place them right on the calendar, and you can set it as like a separate calendar, so you can like turn off all the other ones and just see your posts. It's just been helpful for me, so I just wanted to throw that in there if you guys use Google Calendar.
Yeah, that's a great point. Anyone else?
Don't look at my social media today because I did not do what I was supposed to do.
It's okay. I'm starting my new cycle of this today, so I haven't done it yet either, but it's also only 5:30 by me, so. All right, awesome. That's it. That's all I have for you guys. If anyone has any more questions. I can't even see everyone, so I have no idea what's going on here.
Oh, I forgot you can only see you, right? Yeah.
I can see only a couple at a time.
Oh, okay. Is everyone good? We're going to implement this. We're not going to just take it and be like, that was cool. We're actually going to implement it and use it and see how it works, because it does.
You guys, if we're ending the call this early, you can literally sit for 5 minutes right after we get off the call and just do it. And it'll be so quick, and it's time that you would have spent on the call anyway.
Yeah, you guys don't have a choice. I want you to do it, and I want to see it in the team page. So,
do we have a blank template floating around that can be shared and edited, or should everyone just make one real quick?
Carolyn, you can share that. I can't do it. I can't share it.
Yeah.
Because of
I know you can't.
Computer.
Should I?
But Carolyn, you can share, or you can just save the photo like of the last one, and you can just send the picture of like the blank one, and everyone can just fill in their words.
As a PNG or a PDF?
Probably PNG. And then if everyone puts it into Canva,
oh no,
you can.
Sorry, I downloaded all of them. 1 second.
That's okay.
Keep going.
If you all put it into Canva, then you can just like put the words over it, or like you can do that on Paint. Even you can do that literally on anything.
Yeah,
just insert words.
Yeah. I'll post it in the team page because I don't think I can share images in the chat here. I think just no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus it'll get lost there anyway.
Alrighty. Blank anchor post chart, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's in the team page, so you guys can save it and add your posts on there. And then when you have it added, just drop it like in the comment of the blank one, and we'll see who did it. Because it's going to help you. It's not like we're making you do it just because we want to make you do stuff. It's actually going to help you. So there's a method to our madness. All right, guys. Any other questions, or we're good? We're good. How are we doing with the Lift 4 launch, by the way? Just want to check in on that. We know it's today, right? I'll stop recording now.